All right, what up, YouTube? It's another live, real quick. This one should be quick too, but if I start going off again like I did last time, who knows how long it'll be? But I plan on being quick. So I'm still actually matter of fact, I should be out of Job, but I didn't do a little reading yesterday, so I got to catch up today. After I catch up, I'll be in Psalm. I'll be in Psalm 1, but I'm still in Job though, and I'm kind of glad I am because I was talking about fellowship and this stuff, talking about God and all that. This girl who I be talking to, well, I say this lady, she ain't a girl, she this grown ass woman I be talking to. She hit me up and she was we was talking or whatever, and she was asking me some questions, and she was asking me if I think Christ and God are the same people. And I was telling her I don't really think they are. I know they are. And I forgot which example I gave her. I was probably talking about the raising of the dead, but this is why we read though, because she asked me, like I said, I'm still in Job. I came across to show who God is. Christ and God is the same people. I was in Job, and hold on, I think I'm in 38. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I'm still in Job. Or I'm at in Job right now. Like I said, I'm almost done. So this is the end. Pretty much what God is humbling Job. He basically telling him everything. You know, he asking him questions, and then he telling them like, this is what it is. So chill out. But well, I'm gonna be in Job 38 real quick. Cause she asked me a question. She asked me, was God and Christ the same people? And like I said, I told her, yeah, I gave her examples of the raising of the dead. But besides that, what I was telling her, yeah. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and read this real quick. I'm in Job 38:17. And God is asking Job questions and he's talking to him. In 38:17, God asks Job, he says, have the gates of death been opened unto thee? Or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? So God is talking to Job. He asked him a question. He's asking him, have the gates of death been opened unto you? And have you seen the doors of the shadow of death? And obviously, Job can't answer that question. I mean, he can, but what if you went and talk back to in black households? We know like it's a thing. You don't talk back to your parents and all that. You just do what they say, or you get smacked or whatever. So you think Job finna talk back to God? He really can't. He's got to say, "Hey, listen." Like I said, God is humbling him. He telling them everything, and then he asking them questions. But either way, though, Job 38:17, he asked him again, "Has the gates of had the gates of death been opened unto thee? Or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death?" And obviously, Job can't answer that question because obviously they haven't. I'll put it this way: with everything Job is going to, he pretty much praying and asking God, help me out. So obviously, he ain't seen the doors of death if he can't even control his own life. If he got to ask God for help, he can't be God. But either way, let me just go ahead and get to the point though, for the far be all day in this. I really want to be quick, but I'm gonna go to First Peter real quick. I'm gonna go to First Peter. Hold on a second. I'm gonna go to First Peter 3. I'm gonna uh, I'm gonna start at 17. Matter of fact, let me just start at 18. First Peter 3:18 says, "For Christ also hath once suffered for sins." Well, as a matter of fact, see, this is why sometimes I be mad when I stop reading too, because I be thinking I know it all sometimes. But I was just in this, man. I hope. Matter of fact, I might get a little deep today because I want to explain a few things. But uh, yeah, I was in this last show when I was doing my reading. I would get on here and I would read a couple of chapters every day, and I'll break them down. And I actually read through this one on live last year, and I thought I was done. Like I ain't think it was nothing else I had to know about this. And now I'm right back at this same verse that I was in last year when I thought I was done with it. But now I see it's more to know. So let me show y'all. Like I said, me and the lady who I was talking to about is God Christ. I mean, yeah, is Christ God? She actually led me to look back into this. So I'm right back here at the same verse, and this is why we read. But First Peter 3:18 says, "For Christ also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us, to God, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit." Hold hold on, this is what we finna get at. 3:19. It says, hold on, let me read that again. For Christ also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us closer to God. But I mean being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the spirit, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison. So again, remember, God just asked Job, have the gates of death been opened unto you? And he asked him, has he seen the shadow of death? Christ has seen the shadow of death. Right here again in 3:18, 1 Peter 3:18, matter of fact, 3:19. Those same spirits that's in death, think about it. If a spirit is in prison, what do you think that spirit is at? If your flesh is in prison, that's a jail. That's a jail cell. That's a prison. But if your spirit is in prison, we know that the wages of sin equal death, and we know that if you sin, you pretty much a slave to sin. So if we talking about sin, we know sin deals with the devil in prisons. I mean, spirits in prison. Then we know that these spirits in prison must be spirits in hell. So either way, though, it said by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison. God was asking Job, have you even seen these spirits before? Have you seen the gates of death? Have you seen the shadow of death? And Christ went and preached unto them spirits. All right, but let me keep reading though real quick. Because 3:20 says, which sometime were disobedient, when once the long suffering of God waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was a preparing, wherein few, that is, 8 souls, were saved by water. So, and this even goes further to validate what I'm not validate what I'm talking about, but just show the truth. Like matter of fact, I think I told this to the lady as well when we was talking. I'm telling her, those spirits so long ago in Noah days. Obviously, Noah I ain't gonna say he was before Christ because Christ always been with God up in heaven. But even in them days of Noah, before Moses and all the prophets and everybody else, well, I guess Noah was the first prophet, but even in them days of Noah, it's talking about those spirits who went under the law of Moses, and all those spirits who basically died and went into the prison because of their unbelief and unrepentance. And I could see. I want to get deep because there's some verses I'm thinking about as I'm saying this. But let me try to stick to the point real quick. Those spirits of long days ago, of the days of Noah, are spirits in hell. And Christ went into them because remember, and sometimes see, and this is, damn, how can I go through this? See, like I just said though, them was the spirits that wasn't under the law of Moses and obviously wasn't under the law of Christ, basically having him being sacrificed so that we all may be saved. So we ain't gotta do these sacrifices no more. Because God knew that his chosen people was going to eventually go into slavery and we wouldn't be able to do things how we were doing them back in them days. So Christ had to come as that sacrifice so that we could all be saved. Because obviously, I mean, it ooh, matter of fact, it's so much I should probably get into. Yeah, I know I'm gonna definitely let me probably write this down real quick. So I'm gonna definitely get into this, but either way though, that's all I was gonna say about that. I ain't even got to go back to Job, but you see what I'm saying though. God asked Job, "Have you seen the gates of death, or have you seen the shadow of death?" And obviously Job haven't. But Christ not only seen them, he went and preached unto them because those spirits long ago who wasn't under the law of Moses, people might ask like, well, what happened with them? Like they probably didn't know it. Da, da, da. I mean, really, when you put it like this, back in those days, people were way more closer than God. Would I ain't gonna say the people were, but the people that were closer to God was obviously way more closer to God because obviously the further along the timeline of human history go, the further along from God we get because people start mixing and all other stuff, starts going on. So pretty much the more people have kids or whatever, the further away from God you get, pretty much. Like I said, because all the mixing and stuff that goes on and all that. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say though. Back in them days though, people obviously Adam was made from the dust of the ground by the hand of God. So he was obviously that close to God. And that's why back in those days, people were living as long as they were living because you were that close to God. You see what I'm saying? But either way, though, then what was I finna say? Like I said, I think I got the point across, so it don't even matter what I was about to say. I think I got the point done. But see, man, this is what should I go? I think I should go to Romans real quick. And I might have to find it real quick. So just hold on. Let me find it real quick. Should be. That's a lot of work. Let me Google this verse I'm looking for because I feel like it's gonna take me a while to find what I'm looking for. But if I Google it, I know I'll be where I need to be. So, as a matter of fact, hold on. I think I know what it's like. Let me just go ahead and Google it. Okay, so it's actually Romans 11. I'm finna go to real quick. As a matter of fact, yeah, I should have knew this was at. But let me go to Romans 11 real quick. Matter of fact, let me just read all of this. Let me just go ahead and read all this real quick. I say that hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I am also an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. God hath not cast away his people which he foreknew. Why ye not what the scripture saith of Elias, how he maketh intercession to God against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and dig down into thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. But what saith the answer of God unto him? I have rescued to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Verse 5. Even so then, at this present time also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. Because remember, God gonna have mercy on whom he have mercy on. It's all up to his mercy, love, grace, and all that. So you can still sin or whatever, and God will have that grace on you. But you should obviously do what you're supposed to do, so you won't have to. I mean, I ain't gonna say not have to have mercy because we gonna always have to have mercy on God because we all fall short. But it's better to just do what you're supposed to do. But verse 6 says, "And if by grace, then is it no more of works? Otherwise, grace is no more grace. But if it be of works, then it is no more of grace. Otherwise, work is no more work." And basically, what he's saying right there is, if you being blessed and saved by the grace of God, then it can't be by the works or by the law. Because if it's by the law, then it ain't no grace. You either do what you're supposed to do or you out. But if it's by the grace, then God is gonna have mercy on whom He have mercy on. It means He have to show grace to some people, and then some people He got to use as an example or as a warning or whatever. But verse 7 says, "What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded." Verse 8, "According as it is written, God hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that should not see and ears that should not hear unto this day. And David saith, Let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened that they may not see and bow down their back always. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But rather, through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. And that's just what I'm saying. See, matter of fact, this is go. I'm gonna read the rest of this, but let me just stop right there real quick because we just read in Peter that Christ went and preached unto the spirits in prison of the days of Noah. After God asked Job who has done that, who can do that, Christ done it. So, matter of fact, let me hit this real quick though. Let me just save a note so I can remember to hit it. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead real quick. I don't think it's gonna be long. It should be quick, but just keep in mind, like I just told y'all, Christ went and preached unto the spirits in prison, the spirits in hell. Who else can go to hell and preach to the spirits that were lost long ago? Excuse me. But Psalm 82, real quick. This is a psalm of Asaph, and he's basically asking God how long he gonna let the wicked be be unjudged, pretty much. But Psalm 82:6 says, "I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High." So we are all gods. Think about it. If we all come from God, if we all made in His image, then we all gods. Like it says, even Christ says we gods. And I was just in it yesterday. I think it was John 10. It was John 10:34, I believe. But yeah, okay, yeah, this is when Christ is being questioned, and they asked him, like, who do you think you are, claiming you to be God? And Christ said unto them, is it not written in your law? I said, ye are gods. So if we all come from the image of God, then we all are God, since we all come from a little bit of God. See what I'm saying? But Christ, by preaching it, if we are all gods, then we know who God is, the one that can go into prison and speak, and preach into them uh those spirits in prison, pretty much. If we all gods, then we know who God is. If we are gods in the flesh, then we know who God is in the flesh. See what I'm saying? But either way, though, let me just then what was I just? I was in Romans. Let me go back to Romans real quick. What was I at though? Cause I broke this just to talk about something. Oh yeah, okay. I was in 11. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But rather, through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. So Paul is basically saying, and ain't saying that he's saying we can do no wrong, but because we messed up so bad. Remember, if you go back to Deuteronomy 28, God gave us curses and blessings, curses for disobedience and blessings for obedience. He said that if we don't do what he tell us to do, that another nation pretty much gonna get our blessing. So this is what Roman is saying. Through us messing up how we did back in the days in Jerusalem, because we were so vile and wicked back then, God had to punish us and move us out the way. And somebody had to get our blessing. And other people are getting our blessing right now. So basically, what he is saying, through our fall, other people are being brought in. You see what I'm saying? Because God chose a chosen people, and we were the chosen people. We are the chosen people. But we messed that up because we didn't stick to the laws. And so now we getting the curses of Deuteronomy instead of the blessings of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 28. See what I'm saying? So basically, let me just keep reading though. Verse 12 says, now if the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? So basically, he's saying if other people can be saved by us falling, you know how some people want you to fail so they can get on top. If he basically saying if us falling leads to their inclusion, then how much more will the falling of us who get our act together come into it, going pretty much lead into everything going how it's supposed to go? Because just think about it right now. with the Israelites. Just think about it. It's a lot of our people right now who just kind of lost. That's why we refer to as the lost sheep of Israel. Like you got the women who will do their thing, and you got the men who will do their thing. I think right now the biggest thing in the black community people be talking about is the violence. And men are basically the ones who perpetrate that violence, keep it going, or perpetuate that violence, I should say, pretty much keeping it continual. And then women do the things that they can be criticized for in our community as well. So, hold on, what was I about to say? How much more than fullness? Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna go back to this. Tupac said in one of his songs, he said it's time for us to start nation building, and there's been people calling for that for the longest. We not really to separate, but for us to do our own. I mean, we in America, so that's why God talks about the great daughter of Babylon and getting possessions and substances out of it, because this is a great country when you consider all that they've accomplished, and it is knowledge we can get from this country. You see what I'm saying? But what I was trying to say though is Tupac was talking about nation building, and basically what that is Black Wall Street coming together, putting your own community together, so that we ain't really got to rely on the oppressors, whatever. But anyway, let me just go back because I'm finna get off into a whole other thing that I don't want to get into. Let me just finish reading. 13 says, "For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am an apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify mine office. If by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh, and might save some of them. For if the casting away of them be the reconciling of the world, what shall the receiving of them be but life from the dead?" So if the casting away of us, like I just said, if if Europeans and Arabs can become friends by saying, forget them niggers, if they can basically find, if they can basically say the enemy of my enemy is my friend, pretty much coming into our gospel, that God has made us the Israelites, then how much more the people that he's rejected, because God didn't originally choose the Gentiles. So if God chose them, for some of them to come into our place because of some of the ones who were doing wrong, then how much more the ones who were doing wrong to come back into it? Because it's a reason why Gentiles are Gentiles and Israelites are Israelites. It's just things inherently that we know we shouldn't do, and pretty much like that. But let me just finish reading though before I get into some completely other crazy. I'm at 16, I think. Yeah, 16. For it is the first fruit. For if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy. And if the root be holy, so are the branches. And if some of the branches be broken off, and thou, being a wild olive tree, were grafted in among them, and with their partakers of the root and the fatness of the olive tree, boast not against the branches. But if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. And basically what that is saying is for all you Caucasians who, especially for them racist Caucasians, the Klan who was burning the cross, saying everything they was doing it in the name of God. Y'all came into our religion thinking y'all better than us, because we've been done away with by God for a period of time. Y'all came into our religion saying black people this, black people that, blah blah blah. And Romans is saying not to do that, because clearly God in the flesh is a black man. So how you gonna talk crazy to black people? Because some of our people are lost in the stray right now. Paul is saying don't do that. We come from the tree, but some of the branches had to be taken off. But if you automatically been a Gentile, not of the Israelite patriarchy from Abraham, you been a wild olive tree grafted into the branch, like Paul said. How you gonna boast against the root for some of the branches that's been cut off? Well, anyway, let me just finish the rest of this. Some of the boast not again. Thou wilt say then, verse 19, the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. And Paul says in 20, well, because of the unbelief, they were broken off, and thou standest by faith. Be not high-minded, but fear. For if God spared not the natural branches, take heed lest he also spare not thee. So you can't come in claiming you believe in God, but being racist towards black people. Because if he didn't spare some of our own people, which come from him directly, if he didn't spare some of them, what makes you think he gonna spare you? But going back into it, thou wilt say then, oh no, I read that already. I'm in 21. I'm in 22. Behold, therefore, the goodness and severity of God on them which fell severity, but toward thee goodness, if thou continue in his goodness. Otherwise, thou also shalt be cut off. So basically, he's saying, well, y'all know, I don't think I got to break that there. Y'all should know what he's saying. So I'm going to go to 23. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for God is able to graft them in again. For if thou wert cut off, hold on, let me see. So I break that down real quick. I guess I can hit that a little bit. 23. Pretty much it says again, and they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for God is able to graft them in again. So you can't come in this faith talking crazy again to the real Israelites. Because even though God know that we the lost sheep of Israel, what did Christ say about those 99, the shepherd with his 99 sheep? Yeah, he gonna be happy about the 99 and he'll lead him to go find the one that got away. That don't mean he don't love the 99, but he loved that one just as much as he loved the 99. So he went to go look for that one, and he won't be happy until he find that one. You see what I'm saying? So what they're saying basically, for God is able to graft them in again. So you can't come talking to the lost sheep of Israel like you crazy, because if God grafted you in as a Gentile, God can graft his original Israelites back in if they persist not in unbelief. Didn't Christ go back and preach unto the spirits in prison? Let me finish this though. For if thou wert cut out of an olive tree, out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and were grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? And basically, there it goes again. What Paul is saying: if you being a Gentile, which grow from another tree, you a branch of another root of another tree, were grafted into this tree. How much more the branches that belong to this tree can be grafted back in? That's the lost sheep going astray. Yeah, this sheep went away, but he know how it go over here. He just went away a little bit, so we can bring this sheep back. Especially if I bring this other animal that really ain't even the sheep into the pack, I can bring this sheep into the pack because he know how it go. He can be grafted back in, especially like Paul said, if this branch that wasn't even of this tree was grafted in the first place. But where was I? Okay, I think I'm at 25. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits. That blindness in part is happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. Remember, I don't know if Christ said it, but I know somewhere in the New Testament it says that Jerusalem will be trodden down until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And that's what Christ is saying. I mean, not Christ, but Paul is saying right here. He's saying, for I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits. The blindness in part has happened to Israel. Remember, God said he would give us eyes that can't see and ears that can't hear. I'm going to get into that. Until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. 26. And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written. There shall come out of Sion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. For this is my covenant unto them, when I shall take away their sins. As concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sakes. But as touching the election, they are beloved for the Father's sakes. See what I'm saying? Go back to it again. Talking to the Gentiles, he said, as concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sakes. The Israelites that's been cut off from that branch, from that tree, from that root, they enemies for your sakes. They've been cut off for a reason. So for the sake of God, you better not be dwelling with evildoers. So they, even if they Israelites, they better be your enemy for the sake of God. But what he's saying is, well, I'm at. But as touching the election, they are beloved for the Father's sake. God told Abraham he was going to make us a prosperous nation. So for the Father's sake of the election of Abraham and all of his prophets after him, they are beloved for the Father's sake. I mean, I could get into some real quick, but I ain't finna do all that. Let me just get through this. I'm gonna go to 29. For the gifts and the calling of God are without repentance. For as ye in times past have not believed God, yet have now obtained mercy through their unbelief. You ain't believing God, but you receive mercy through their unbelief. So God can graft you in. 31. Even so have these also now not believed, that through your mercy they also may obtain mercy. Hold on real quick. It's only a few more I gotta go. I want to go back through that real quick. And basically what he's saying there is even for those Israelites who ain't believe, now through your mercy, because the Gentiles weren't supposed to get the blessing of the Israelites, but through your mercy, now they believe. 32. For God hath concluded them all in unbelief, that he might have mercy upon them all. And then God said he know we all sinners. Christ said, forget them, for they know not what they do. He have concluded us to be all unbelievers, so that he might have mercy upon us all. Not that he will, but that he might have mercy upon us all. Oh, the depth, 33, oh, the depth of riches, both of wisdom and knowledge of God, and his ways past finding out. For who hath known the mind of the Lord, or who hath been his counselor, or who hath first given to him, and it shall be recompensed unto him again? For of him and through him and to him are all things, to whom be the glory forever. Amen. And so basically that's that thing. How did I connect that? I was talking about Christ going and preaching into the spirit. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. He said all Israel will be saved. And so him going and preaching to them spirits in prison longer day in Noah's days, some of those spirits might be saved. Only God know your heart on the inside. So God gonna save even those who thought couldn't be saved, even in the spirit after they gone. So that's really what I wanted to hit with that. But no, not really. I had something else I wanted to hit on. Uh, I hit y'all with the Job because that's really, like I said, I'm in Job and I was having a conversation. We was talking about this Christ God. I seen that, so I want to go into that. But I hit Romans. Uh, it was something else I wanted to hit. Forget it, I forgot. But I'm gonna hit this though, and ain't trying to be cocky or nothing. So I be feeling like sometimes like whatever, it don't matter how I be feeling. But as a matter of fact, I remember one of my live streams I did about a year ago, I think it was. Yeah, it had to be a year ago when I was doing all these live streams. But matter of fact, I ain't started doing live streams like around March, April, so pretty much about a year ago still. But yeah, I was talking about when I did that first poem, I was noticing mainly Caucasians on Twitter talking about Drapetomania after I put that on my poem and stuff at the end of my first poem. And so I'm gonna tell y'all something else I noticed. It's this little page I'll be following on Facebook. It's called Real African Books. And it got almost a million followers or whatever. And I just be looking at the page sometimes. Sometimes he posts stuff I agree with, but he get to talking about religion and all that. It's like whatever. I mean, I can kind of see why he would feel that way because he an African. And in the Bible, God said that Noah had three sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And Ham, the darker races, the jet black people of the planet, he said they were cursed and all that. So I could see why I could see why most Africans would be against the Bible. I understand that. But he be posting a lot of stuff. And I noticed like he posted this about a year ago almost. And it got about a couple thousand likes and all this and da. But he posted this thing and I commented on it and it got like 50,000 reactions, thousands of comments on it. It got like thousands, tens of thousands of shares. So I ain't saying nobody following me secretly or something like that. But like I said, I ain't stupid. Like I know when I did that poem and I started seeing Drake Tomania trend on Twitter after I mentioned it on my poem, that a lot of people probably had to be knowing who I am, like I thought the whole time. And so like I'm saying with this he just posted this last week, I think, and they got almost 100,000 or whatever, all that. So like I said, I don't know if people spying on me or what, but y'all know I be feeling the energy. So I've seen a lot of people, I seen the Cal Kuzma dude go in with the little dominatrix suit on in the Wizards game and all that. So I don't know if I'm being mocked worldwide by y'all people or what. But let me go to this real quick. I'm gonna go to Acts 13 real quick. 1341. No, let me go before that. I'm gonna go to Acts 13:39. And by him all that believe are justified from all things, for which ye could not be justified by the law of Moses. Ooh, as a matter of fact, what we just talking about that, Christ went and preached unto them spirits long before in the days of Noah, before they was under the law of Moses, for the people who couldn't be justified by the law. But either way though, he says, for the people which could not be justified by the law of Moses, beware therefore lest that come upon you which is spoken of in the prophets. 41, behold, ye despisers and wonder and perish. For I work a work in your days, a work which ye shall no wise believe, though a man declare it unto you. So beware, unless this come upon you, which is spoken unto the prophets, spoken in the prophets. And what was I even at? Yeah, like I was saying though, like I ain't trying to be narcissistic or whatever, but it feel like I'm being mocked real wild or something or whatever. And so I don't know if people directly looking through my camera on my phone at something I'm looking in because like I done told you, I done broke down the Army of the Dead stuff before as it pertained to some porn they was talking about. And I'm seeing something else I'm looking at. And I ain't almost got my finger on what I'm figuring out, what I'm trying to figure out. But it's definitely something I'm seeing and I'm putting some pieces together to some puzzles. So yeah, I am looking into some nasty stuff for y'all watching me, like I'm saying, because I feel like I'm being mocked kind of. And I don't know if it's a camera around here or something. Like I'm saying, I don't know if y'all looking directly through my phone at me or whatever. See what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say, yeah, I am looking at some stuff right now, and I'm putting the pieces together to a puzzle about it though. So go ahead, mock me when I come out and reveal what I'm seeing. Matter of fact, I only think I should reveal it because the more I do, as a matter of fact, this is what I'm saying too. I was watching the Bulls game yesterday, and I heard the comment was talking about some like. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I'm being mocked worldwide or whatever. If y'all have my back or whatever, trying to see like, yeah, is this nigga really a prophet or whatever? So I was watching that Bulls game yesterday, and I heard some of the announcers talking about something. And what he was saying didn't make sense. He was talking about somebody playing defense. He ain't that really good at because he ain't really reading like that or something like that. I think it was Jeff Van Gundy or somebody who was saying it. So I don't know if he's talking about me. Like I said, I ain't trying to be narcissistic, whatever, saying everybody in the world talking about me, whatever. But then what was I even gonna say about that? Yeah. I was finna say this. Like, I don't even think I should reveal what I'm figuring out right now when it comes to all this stuff I'm looking at right now because of people like that. So if I come out and reveal everything I'm saying, he gonna say, "Oh no, he didn't do that." Somebody telling him and stuff like that. Because like I said, what he was saying, he was talking about somebody's playing defense, but no, he ain't that good. He ain't read like that. Nah. So like I'm saying, what he was saying didn't make sense, which made me think he was talking about something else. Because y'all know these people do symbolism, not just through pictures, but through their words. So I don't know what he was talking about, but what he was talking about did make sense. So I'm always thinking maybe people be talking about me. Like I said, what they call Cal Kuzma do and all the other stuff I've been seeing. I'm seeing people I be following and stuff online talking about just a whole bunch of type of mockery and stuff like that. So with what I'm looking in right now, that can help black people. 'Cause like I'm saying, with that whole Army of the Dead stuff, they was clearly talking about black women. Period. I still don't know the message they was trying to send or what that whole thing was about, but it was clearly something in it. And so, like I said, I'm looking at something right now, and I'm kind of thinking like, damn, I shouldn't even present it because it's almost becoming like it's too good to be true. But I prayed and asked God for all this. So the fact that I'm doing this, what like Acts 30, Acts 13, 39 through 41 says, I work or work in your days that y'all shouldn't even believe. So it's kind of like at this point, I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. If I don't, people gonna say, oh yeah, see, he stopped doing everything he doing because he was really an agent and now they done with him, so he ain't working no more. And then if I keep doing it, they're gonna say, oh no, see, they telling him shit and da. So at this point, it's like I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing because that's what I've been doing. And I asked God to be with me and all this. So if I stop, I'm not just hurting myself. I'm basically, you know, using the talent. I ain't gonna say the talent, but that wisdom and all that I asked God to give me. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. As far as like breaking down the news articles and stuff like that, I think if people mocking me like that, if it's like in the NBA and stuff like that, then obviously these writers who write all these articles got to know how I'm doing this stuff, and they're not gonna keep talking the way they talk in these articles. So I only know if I'm gonna be able to keep breaking them down like that. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna start getting very careful about how they word and stuff because they know somebody like me out there gonna be reading that stuff. You see what I'm saying? But either way, though, like I was saying, I don't know, if, and that's just that wisdom that God put in me, not to be narcissistic and to be self-conscious, looking at everything and thinking about everything, but just to know that something ain't right, like I'm saying, and yeah, and I seen that Cal Kuzma dude again was talking about he feeling like LeBron, people better not be talking crazy to him and all that. I mean, hey, if I want to profit, I won't be saying all these things. I know my life is on the line as well as I'm saying all these things. Especially when I was talking about the tornadoes and stuff that happened in Kentucky and all that stuff. Some people probably mad about that and want to kill me for that. But whatever though. I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing. And like I said, I think I was done and all this, but I know it was something else I wanted to hit, but I don't know how long it's gonna take me to remember. So yeah, I know I won't be taking no notes or whatever. So matter of fact, I'm not done. Yeah. Let me go back to Matthew real quick. Because basically, as a prophet, you speak it and it happens. If the word of God is with you, then matter of fact, I think in Acts 2 somewhere. Yeah, I think it's in Acts. They said pretty much God is gonna be with you in signs and wonders as you speak his word, pretty much. So it's gonna be a lot of people who don't believe in God. They're gonna say, like, man, this is just a coincidence. Like this nigga speak about a tornado in his raps and then it happens the next day. Whatever. Like I'll put it to you like this, because there's a lot of people out there that ain't gonna believe in God still. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go back to Matthew 8 real quick. I'm gonna go back to Matthew 8:29, because this is when Christ came. He was going past that man with the spirits in him. See, I'm back in my I be thinking it's always some I be thinking I'm done, but it's always some that you can expound more in this Bible. I'm gonna go back to Matthew 8 real quick, talking about the spirits once again. What was I finna say? Yeah, remember Christ was going past the man with the evil spirits in him. And see, when he walked past them, they behold out 29, and And behold, they cried out and said, what have we to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time? So I'm gonna say this: a lot of y'all out there who don't believe in God, but them demons believe in God. Them demonic spirits know that God is real. All Christ had to do is go bow. And they said, what you doing here? Is it our time yet? Like you come to do away with us? So even if you don't believe in God, them demonic spirits believe in God. And that's one thing I wanted to hit on. There's something else I wanted to hit on, but damn, I can't remember what that was either. So I think I might be done right now. Like I said, I didn't read some of Job yesterday because once I seen him asking, have you seen the gates of death and all that? And I was just thinking about what I was talking about. I had to do a little bit of research into that, do a little bit of studying. So I got a little bit behind on my reading. So I'm finna get back into Job real quick. I'm gonna be in Psalm. And then I'm finna get into I'm actually finna be done with Acts too. So I'm finna be in Romans. Romans is a good book, I think. I mean, they all the best books, but it's a lot of information in Romans. So I like being in it now. At first I ain't like being in the New Testament at first. But now it's mind blowing. But like I'm saying, I ain't trying to be narcissistic or whatever, but I just feel like people be watching me or whatever. And I don't know if people, like I'm saying, watching me through the phones and all that stuff, and with the type of mockery I'm getting. I just don't know. Like I was saying, just looking at the page, I commented on the stuff. Dude ain't got that many likes, shares, and comments on none of his stuff. And now he got it on that one I commented on. You see what I'm saying? So like I said, I ain't trying to be narcissistic or nothing like that, but that's just the way I'm seeing things. And I see the mockery with it. So whatever though, I ain't finna stay too long in this. I'm finna like I said, I'm finna get up out. And of course, if I got something else, I'll be back on whenever. So I'm out.